What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video we're creating a realistic sketch illustration of Jumbo Josh from the Garden of Banban. Let's begin today's lesson by sketching a line coming down the center of our page to help with the symmetry of our drawing. So we start right at the very top in the middle. Just going to lightly work our way down towards the bottom. Now our character has a very large oval shaped head, so we start right at the very top of our page. We're going to start with the left side. Draw that oval going out, come down the side and then back in towards the middle. Now I want to try to stay loose in this stage. We don't want to get too detailed. And we'll just mirror that over on the right side. Just go back and just smooth this out. Now I want to capture the character's proportions by building out the basic shapes. Let's start with the upper torso. We're going to start on the left side of our oval. So we come down in the middle, round this out, and just pull that up towards the right. We're just tucking the body in underneath the head. Now from the outside, I'm just going to bend the legs, going out and then down. Now our character has pretty short legs. I'm just going to bring that down towards the same height. Now let's connect the ends with a curve going up the middle. We'll round this out and then bring that back down. Now we're going to move out to the side and block in the arms. Let's start from the top of the body on the left, bend this out and then down towards the elbow to right about there. Go to the right side, and bring that down towards the same height. Now from here, we're going to draw a straight line coming down towards the wrist. Let's round out the edge of the wrist with a curve, going down and up towards the outside of the arm. Now from the outside, we're going to follow these two lines going up toward the outside of the elbow. Bend the upper arm going up and in towards the side of the head. And we'll do the same thing on the right, going up towards the elbow and then bending that in. Let's go to the inside of the wrist, add the thumb, and bend this in and then back out, like a half oval. Now I'm also going to give our character some short stubby fingers. Let's start from the bottom of the thumb, bend this down and then up. Let's do that again, but we're going to angle this down and out and back up. Now going to the outside of the wrist, bend this out and down. Now I just want to curl that in, just tucking that in behind that second finger. Now that we've established the basic proportions of our drawing, we're going to go back and add a second level of detail. Let's start with the mouth. We're going to start over on the left side, curve the mouth going up, across the middle, and then down towards the right. Now we're going to go back to the left side. We're just going to curve the mouth coming down and in towards the bottom of our oval on either side. Now on either side of the head, we're going to draw two ovals for the eyes. Let's start on the left. All the way around and back up. Now let's line at the top over on the right and do the same thing. Let's add a guide just underneath the mouth for the teeth. We're going to step down from the left, bend this up in the middle, and then back down. And then along the bottom, add a curve, coming down and then up. Let's add the tongue inside the mouth. We're going to start from the center line, bend this up toward the left, and then down towards the side. Do the same thing over on the right. Let's go back to the eyes and add a thick brow. We're going to start from the top of the oval. Just going to start by angling this down and in. And then we'll bend that up toward the middle. Now let's close off the center with a curve across the center of the brow. Let's add a fold around the side of the head. From the top of the arm, we're going to step up, go around, and then bend that in and down. Now along the top of the arm, along the inside, we're just going to round this out and come down towards the side of the chest. Now we're also going to round out the tip of the feet. It's going to take out that sharp point, just pulling this in, and just pull that up towards the middle. Now I'm going to go all the way down towards the wrist and add a fold. Let's start from the outside of the arm, then it's down and out, and just bend that in on top of the hand. Let's go to the inside and go in the opposite direction. We'll do the same thing on the right. All the way around the wrist, and then along the outside. Now that we've added more detail, we can go back and erase the center guideline. Now that we have our clean drawing, I'm going to go back and add some more detail and refine our shapes. Let's start with the upper eyelid. Add a little bit more detail going around the eye. Also adding some folds along the inside. I'm just going to work our way in towards the brow. Adding some more wrinkles in between and along the top. Also adding a thick fold around the eyes. Now I want to separate out the teeth by adding the gum line along the top. So just rounding this out. Do the same thing on the right. We can always just offset the teeth, so somewhere a little bit crooked along the bottom. Adding a few shorter ones along the outside. And then just working our way out towards the sides. Gonna give them a couple fangs along the outside. And we'll do the same thing across the bottom. Just separating out the teeth. Also going to add a couple fangs along the outside. Now we also want to add a little bit of drool just underneath the mouth. Just going across. So stacking the molars along the side. I'm just going to lightly shade the inside of the mouth, going around the teeth and the tongue. Just going to add a light circle along the outside of the eyes for the pupils, just facing these out, and just lightly shade that in. And just continue to add some folds along the outside of the arms. And then also adding some shape to the fingers. Just blending them in along the inside, on the top. And once we're happy with the general sketch, we're going to go back and start adding some more contrast and details. So I'm going to start back at the eyes with the brow, just enhancing our lines, and adding some more folds. just going to add a dark shadow around the eyes, starting from the outside, and then just fading that down. Just casting a little bit of a shadow. We're also going to add a shadow just underneath the brow, beside the eyes, and then fade that in towards the center. I'll go back and just redefine the outside edge of the iris, and just lightly shade that in. Now from here, we're just going to work our way down the mouth, starting along the top. I can go in and just add a shade to the inside of the gums. Starting from the left and working our way across. Also adding some shadow to the teeth. Just going to darken up the bottoms and just fade that up. Also adding a little bit of shadow along the inside edge. Now we'll go in and just darken up the back side of the mouth. Again, going around the teeth and the tongue area. And we'll go back and add a light shade to the inside of the tongue. I'm also going to add a darker shadow along the outside and just fade that in, just to push it into shadow. And we'll darken up the back side of the molars. going to go back and enhance that drool across the bottom of the mouth. Now we'll continue to add some more contrast to the rest of the body. Just work our way around the contours. And now we're going to go in and start adding our shadows. Starting underneath the brow. Now the head's going to cast a darker shadow just underneath the chin, across the body, and I'm just going to fade that down. I'm just going back and adding a little bit of texture inside the arms, using this crosshatch pattern. Now we're just going back and adding some wrinkles and scales across the body. Now going back and just layering some spots across the body and head. Now, as we get closer to the end of our drawing, we'll tighten up our shadows and add a little bit more detail, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Jumbo Josh. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single day. And if you want to keep drawing with me, you might want to check out this video over here. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.